Hello, this is Greg Allison of Green Greg's coming to you on the 13th of January, 2021. Time on deck, 21:46 hours. Now, the United States of America is a very beautiful land, beautiful people. From the hot, humid, almost tropical Miami, all the way to the Arctic barrens of Point Barrow, across the vast lands, the prairies, the mountains, the forests from the east to the painted deserts of the west, even the territories from the tropics of the Virgin Islands and to the tropics of Guam. And of course, the states, far south from across the Pacific, Hawaii, again, Alaska. Wow, it's a vast land covered many different climates and regions with beautiful people all throughout it. But the beautiful people throughout this land have been divided, much by the social media, as Elon Musk says. Yeah, he's on it. I've said this long before Elon Musk said it. That our social media divides us, but it shows us the things that lure us further and further down our own respective rabbit holes, establishing diametrically opposed worldviews and establishing the rose-colored glasses through which each side sees the world. The more and more information they see, further entrenches and reinforces the worldview you already had. This is why I tell you to try to put on the other people's rose-colored glasses so you can try to understand them. But understanding is not where we seem to be going in this country, most unfortunately. And it seems to be getting worse really fast. The tension in this country are ratcheting up, and now it's accelerating. It's like somebody just dumped the gas pedal. And in fact, even those who you would think might be calling for unity, the party that has just taken the House and the Senate and the presidency, you would think that that party would be calling for unity and trying to, at least for now, get a little peace going. But it seems that some of them may be potentially intent on throwing gasoline upon the fire. Case in point, did she just essentially virtually call for an invasion of the southern states? Wow, we're going to go into that. Did she? Wow, the language that she used, whether you understand it or not, is loaded, because that was how it was sent to me by one of my friends with that proposition. And I'll tell you how that adds up. So you talk about language, you talk about censoring, you talk about all the tension that's going around this country. It's getting worse. And every step taken seems to be going further and further in that direction from both sides. Humpty Dumpty has fallen off the wall. And all we got trying to put together is a king's horses. And them hooves aren't doing good on eggshells. So how do we put it back together? Can we put it back together? What do we got to deal with in the meantime? I'm going to tell you, we want to have a lot of tension in this country. Oh yeah, Texas. We're going to go over Texas. Texas, this week in the legislature, is likely, or they may well pass a referendum to put secession, Texit, on the ballot. We'll talk about that. Texas may secede from the Union. And with the kind of charges that some people are making out there, like AOC, she might just encourage the southern states to join once again with Texas. Well, that old adage, once you don't succeed, try again. May well happen. I've already done several reports on civil war, balkanization of this country, balkanization of countries in general, which seems to be a growing trend. It might just catch on here. Look what it's done with the old Soviet Union in Europe and Africa. Yeah, balkanization is really catching on. Mideast, yeah, it's catching on everywhere. And how are we going to avoid that contagion? Everywhere except China, which is going to be gobbling everybody up. For now. So we've got a lot of tension. We've got elections coming up, not elections. We've got an inauguration coming up that could be explosive. I hope not. I tell you to stay away. Don't go. I just saw an article out there, stupid article saying right wingers are telling everybody don't go, it's a trap. Really? Oh, what do you want to do? To tell everybody, go, 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 fan the flames. I mean, you know, you can't win. These stupid articles out there, stupid journalists saying stuff like that. So anybody that said don't go is a right winger too, right? Wow. Wow. You talk about loaded language, there you are. It just don't stop. It just don't stop. Wow. Wow. More gas on the fire. More gas on the fire. The journalists are loading it up too, just like everybody else. So yeah, I see one or two out there that might seem like they're going to go there, but then they'll say something to try to talk peace, but they'll throw gas in the fire. So come on, guys. All right. So I'm asking questions here, or let's talk about these things. But you know what? You got to know this. Get ready. Go buy your gas for your car, not for a fire. Put it in your car. Don't throw it on the fire. Stay peaceable. Stay home. Keep your head low. Keep your eyes wide open. Head on the shoulder. That's the proposition of this channel. It's to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And so, you know, I call my followers swivel heads because I do know you keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. And I do a lot of videos about these kind of topics to help you know what's coming. And I also cover things to help you survive, like wild edibles, which are free. They're also mild medicinals. I cover that. I did a video on the filtering and sanitizing, purifying and sanitizing, as we call it, water. Many ways, from even a homemade filter made out of a plastic bottle. And I talked about many other type filters, their advantages and shortcomings. And yeah, go back and check that out. So you need to subscribe to my channel and bang that notification bell. You can click all this, see all the other good videos I'm going to bring you. Also, I'll bring you other good deals on top of that, like we got $70 off a 4-week supply of food for an individual that will give you 2,000 calories a day for 4 weeks. And you get $70 off. The price of all 3 meals is like going to MacDonald's or something, you know, $8 and, you know, maybe 10 or 11 cents. Less probably than going to McDonald's, unless you just get the dollar value meal. How many people survive on that though? So it's good stuff. It's dehydrated, so it's lightweight, and you can take these pouches out and put them in your bug out bags, and you can hot with them easy, much more easier than a can. I'm gonna do some videos on cans for a second. But maybe the best thing is if you go into the My Patriot Supply logo and click that, go to prepwithgreg.com. That's how you find it. Go to the logo, click on that, and you'll find all kind of other survival gear in there that can help you get through a tough time. But go learn those skills, practice them. Prepwithgreg.com. Okay, let's get into this. Let's talk about this. I'm going to show you some articles here. We'll do some screen shares here. I don't have too many open today, so it shouldn't be choking my computer like it did recently. Oh yeah, there's Texit. Here we go. We're going to play this little video of Miss Ocasio Cortez, AOC. So Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. We're going to play her little video here, and we're going to talk about what she says. So here we go. It's short.
That southern states are not red states. They are suppressed states, which means the only way that our country is going to heal is through the actual liberation of southern states.
Liberation of southern states. Liberation of southern states. Now, hang on, guys. I'm a veteran, and I'm a student, lifelong student of history. And every time we've used the language liberate, that we're going to go liberate somebody, it's been through sending the military. You go there to liberate them. You sent your military to liberate the people from whatever you consider their oppressors. So is the democratically elected governments in our southern states the oppressors that people are being liberated from? Is she talking about an invasion? Is she? Or is it some other social engineering? Which, you know, we've had a lot of social engineering here in the South, and some of it, you know, has been very productive. But, you know, how well is that going to stand? I don't think southern states are going to want any part of this. I don't think anybody down there is going to want any part of this. So, hang on, where's my cursor? Yeah, I'm being a little bit bogging down here.
The actual liberation of the poor, the actual liberation of working people.
Since when do they care about working people? They'd rather bring people across the border and replace the jobs, right? Liberation of the poor, what? Welfare? What do you mean liberation of the poor? We already give welfare. What more are we talking? Are we talking about more of that? I don't know. What is she talking about there? But that's like commas. It's like different things. Liberation of Southern states, and it's like she goes into poor and working people separately.
From economic, social, and racial oppression.
Economic, social, and racial oppression. Okay, so what do you do? Replace the governments? What is she talking about here? Is she talking? How do you do that? An invasion? What is she talking about? You tell me. I'm asking. But these are inflammatory words to a lot of people. So.
Not red states. They are suppressed states, which means the only way that our country is going to heal is through the actual liberation of southern states.
Okay. You play it back. Suppressed states. That suggests that the government is suppressing them, that they would change the government one way or another through an invasion. Lady, I think the southern states really want no part of your liberation. Maybe the southern states would decide to liberate themselves, much as they did once before, kind of and join with Texas. Like I said, if you don't want to secede, try again. So maybe that's it. No, I'm not calling for secession. Okay, guys, I'm just talking about in context of what she's saying. That's very inflammatory. She may be inciting insurrection. She may be inciting secession just by saying these kind of things. These words are loaded. So either she's talking about invading the states or taking them over by some other means. Either way, this is incendiary insurrectionist talk, or talk that would invoke insurrection, because the southern states are going to want no part of that. This was sent to me by more than one person, and it was sent to me saying AOC is calling for an invasion of southern states. That was in the title of one of the messages I got. It's like, really? And I played it and go, okay, yeah, I see your point. So I'm just asking you if that's her point. Now, many of you are going to disagree with that. But once again, when we've liberated places in the past, it's been through an invasion. So how else does she think she's going to overthrow the governments of the southern states? Well, maybe there are other ways. We've seen something happen. Some people think something's happened recently. I wonder about that. Some people think that. Interesting. Well, Texas has got their own take on it. Look at this, my friends. Texas lawmakers want secession on the ballot. Supporters say they're dead serious. See that? Yeah, we got Texas Rep Kyle Biederman. Yeah, Biederman. He says they're going to reduce it, and that would be this week. And what's going to happen there is that, they said it's been dismissed as fringe phenomenon until the moment that when it surprises everybody, it becomes mainstream. That's the kind of thing that's going on in other places. So what they're saying in here in this article is that, hey, this is not about Trump. We've already been going down this road, that we are unhappy. And this one individual here says it's not about any particular president, particular political party, or any particular person who's either an idiot or not, as in the case may be whatever. So and he's not the only one that was saying this. He says, my opinion is I'm tired of the BS and stuff that's been going on for so long, looking at the idiots we've been dealing with in Washington for so long. He says, we can do it better than that locally. And so they're putting that on a referendum apparently this week. So now they say it's been battered around for generations, and now they're bringing it up and they want to put it to vote. They want to put it to vote in the legislature to have a referendum to come out for the people in the state of Texas to make their own decision. So it would go before the 150 state representatives and 31 senators here. And Mr. Biederman says the federal government is out of control and does not represent the values of Texans. Well, I think Alabama would go along with that. Oh my God. But as y'all may know, that Okay. All right, that's enough of that. Talk about free speech may be under attack here. So Mo Brooks, they're censoring him, trying to censor him, and for what he said, just as they impeached Donald Trump. What did Donald Trump say that was so insightful? What were the actual words? You tell me. What were the actual words that Donald Trump said that were so insightful to accuse him of inciting a resurrection? He called for people to come to a rally. He actually said in his speech, peaceful protest. And he said, well, let's take a little walk to the Capitol. He didn't say storm it. He didn't say break things down to rush in. Doing that was counterproductive to the very session that they were having. As Mo Brooks says here, where he's talking, he's firing back, he says, I will never apologize to the Democrats. That's what he's saying. So let's look here. He says, socialist Democrats and their fake news media allies won't get an apology from me because my remarks were not wrong. Coincidentally, the socialist Democrats and their fake news media allies should be apologizing to the public for their egregious and manipulative way that they've deceived the public on the issue. He's also criticized Trump supporters who now see, this is important, because they were trying to get a process through Congress, and the Congress was stormed while they were introducing their objections, and it stopped the process of the objections. And Mo Brooks is angry about that. He said he criticized the Trump supporters who resorted to violence and briefly taking control of the Capitol and temporarily stopping Congress as it finalized the presidential election results, saying in part, those who engaged in illegal breach of the Capitol could not have done more damage if they had followed any script written by the Democratic National Committee. I.e. says it's, they couldn't have done any worse had they followed actually a script from the DNC. So, and there are some who say that's exactly what happened, that there were some people inside job, DNC put it on just to stop the process, and so they could throw it all out. And that's what some people claim. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just telling you what's out there in the discussion sphere. Remember, I'm talking about worldviews. I'm talking about how people see the world. And that's what I'm trying to bring to some people here. Now, everybody sees it that way. And I'll tell you what, each side with their own worldview thinks they are right. They really do, or a lot of them do, the core. The leadership, they knows. You got a lot of sociopaths that go to leaderships and organizations, and that's the problem in any organization and government's organization. I think government gets more than their share of that, right? So, in any event, he says, I was not encouraging anyone to engage in violence. So he says, you can imagine my dismay upon learning that the Socialist Democrats, without ever bothering to first discuss this matter with me to discern the truth, and without any substantive and connected evidence, so viciously besmirched my good name and character, it took me 66 years to build. Now I'm gonna tell you, I've been living in this community for decades. I've known Mo Brooks all this time. Yeah, he's my congressman, okay? He's my congressman. My congressman's under attack, and AOC is talking about invading my state, looks like, according to some. So my congressman is definitely under attack right now, no doubt about that, for what he said. And what he said was, taking names and kicking but he was talking about the elections coming up. They took it out of context. He was referring to the 2022 and 2024 elections around the corner. So he's talking about prepping for that stuff. And he said the preceding sentence clearly and ambiguously confirms that to take names and kicking derrieres refers to fighting them to win the elections. It had absolutely nothing to do with an illegal breach of the Capitol. See, it's an idiom, idiomatic expression is what they call it. So it's just a way of speaking that we all use all the time. And he didn't tell people that. And look, Mo Brooks is straight as an arrow. In fact, I always thought he was too much of a stick in the mud to actually hold an office, because he has no pizzazz. He's just like cardboard, like a robot. He's a big time, like super duper Boy Scout type character. He is so straight that he would make a Baptist preacher cringe. That's how straight Bo Brooks is. Hey, but you know what? You know, I voted for Mo Brooks, and I'll do it again, just because that he stood up, and he's a man of character. I know he's a man of character, and I've argued with him. I've talked to him face to face. I'll be honest, he wasn't supporting in the very early part of the primaries. He wasn't supporting Trump when he ran first time, and because he thought Trump would damage the party. And I'll be honest, in the first primary, I voted for Rubio. I thought Rubio would be stronger for space. And I've actually done a video where I trashed Trump because of his stand on Julian Assange, throwing Julian Assange under the bus. That's something we're going to talk about here in a minute, is Julian Assange. So, by the way, let's see, I'm going to play this video or not. There's a rap video that kind of hits to the heart. You know what? We're going to do it. Our nation's divided. So you know what? I'll put a link to this video. This is a rap video, so we'll handle a little bit of this. This guy's, you get the point. What he's saying is we're being divided, and we are. He's suggesting it's intentional. I was just saying that it's just the artifact of the way the social media works. Well, maybe it is. There's a lot of people that believe it's intentional. I've not been ascribing such things here, but you know, whether intentional or not, the virtual effect is the same. We have been divided, greatly divided. And who are the ones that's behind it? Oh, it's that social media that's deplatforming all this other stuff. Yeah, they played a big hand in that, didn't they? But still, their algorithms do that. Even though they deplane these guys or those guys and they platform, they still encourage divisiveness because it's what they direct you to look at. They get you to look at what you've looked at before and more, and they just get you down that rabbit hole. That's what they do. That's what Elon Musk said. I've said that way before Elon Musk said it, and others have said it too. It's pretty obvious to me and you. So how do we put Humpty Dumpty back together with all the king's horses? We need a few king's men, don't we? No, the kings may be the problem. Why are kings doing it anyway? They're useless. They're government heads of government trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together. We need an egg doctor. Oh well. All right, yeah, I gotta have a little humor, guys. You know, I always told everybody there's a silver lining around every mushroom cloud. Yeah, it's kind of scary, right? But you know, there was I used to watch and listen to these tapes by Dr. Wayne Dyer talking about power of intention. And he was talking about a guy who was in a concentration camp in Germany. And, you know, these people were losing their mind. They were starving to death and they were dying in droves and there was death all around them. But you had to keep your sanity. This guy kept his sanity by finding beauty in a skull of a fish head that was in a soup. I mean, basically they just took a fish head and boiled it in water, and that's what they had to eat. You know, and you gotta think that's no nutrition, and all of us would find, you know, we would all be repulsed by it. We would find it gross. But he was so desperate for some sanity, he was able to look at that fish head and find the beauty that's in it. And indeed, it's a design. You know, the skull, the bones. There is a design there, and it's a great design. But he was able to get past the yuck of it and see into the beauty of it because he desperately needed that beauty. And by doing that, I forget the guy's name that he cited. Well, Wayne Dyer talked about him a lot. Some of you may know this story. But that really says what you got to keep your head on your shoulders. I was saying that in my last video. You've got to not panic in the worst situations. Never panic. But I tell you to take a nature bath, to get out and try to enjoy the world. Just, you know, it may be blowing up over there in this place or that. There's always bad things happening somewhere. But you got to find the good. You got to pull to it. And, you know, and part of that whole, you know, universe in the solar cup, power of intention, what Wayne Dyer wrote about. I kind of talked to that in my universe in the solar cup. But, you know, that's a way of understanding how the greater creator created this universe to give us free will. And that's why the power of prayer matters. So I hope that we can still pray our way into a better outcome and all these things coming up. All that said, I talked about organizations. I told you we're starting the Freedom Restoration Foundation. We've already started. It's not starting. We're operating now, and we're growing. And the Freedom Restoration Foundation is going to be working to try to maintain our freedoms legislatively. We'll be working, trying to get the Congress still to do things that make some sense. And we will be also mainly now working at the state levels, creating sanctuary states. And if that fails, rather than get totally ran over, if at first you don't succeed, I hope it don't go there. I'm not calling for that. But, it might be, some people have asked me, Greg, we're cornered. All our rights are taken away, and we come take up our means of preserving our last rights, our means of self-defense, and then they're going to come around and take us. That's what these kind of revolutions typically do. And so that's what people are thinking. So people are feeling like caged, cornered animals, and cornered animals usually attack. And so I'm trying to say, calm down, calm down. We have other recourse. And, maybe a peaceful divorce would be better than the course of war. So let's hope, look, there are states that are separating that aren't going into warfare. They don't, the Soviet Union broke up without a civil war. England is breaking away from the European Union without a civil war. Scotland may break away from the United Kingdom, and I don't see a civil war there. So just because you break up, don't mean you got to cut each other up. I think we'll discover that in America with no fault divorce. So maybe if it comes to it, that's what we need between the states. But hopefully the states will still get along and have treaties and kind of look after each other. But, we're two different nations, very much two different nations. If it comes to that, maybe we can still get along and trade with each other and have a mutual defense organization of some type. Maybe a trade union of some type. I don't know. That is if it comes out, because I'm still advocating peace. But if somebody wants to invade us, well, we're not going to stand for that. AOC, you just used loaded language. So you just did what you've accused the president of. I'm having a hard time seeing when the president said it, but a lot of people are thinking you just said it, and several other people. So be careful. So either AOC is saying something she means, which is going to be provocative and insightful, or she's ignorant. If she's ignorant, she don't deserve to be in the office she's got. And if she's inciting that kind of stuff, she should be censored. What she's talking about doing to Mo Brooks, why is it not with her? Because her side is the dominant party. But do recall, one thing they're after Mo Brooks for was, leading that vote, the objections. That's one of the other things they're after. They don't want to go after everybody that did that. Maxine Waters did that the last election cycle 4 years ago. Nobody said anything to her. In fact, they've done it every cycle, last few cycles. Nobody said anything to these people. That's part of the process. As long as somebody ain't breaking down the doors and windows and coming in, that's not part of the process. That's not in here. That's nowhere. In fact, the First Amendment, it calls for a peaceable. It says you can have the right to peaceably assemble. You have that right. And to redress the government for your grievances, that you can do so far. But those rights to peaceably assemble are definitely under challenge now. So I'm going to ask you to do one other thing. Yeah, I'm going to ask you to go look at the Freedom Restoration Foundation. Got a Freedom Restoration. We have a Facebook site. I can put all this stuff down here. You can write me info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org. Put freedom in the subject line if you want to join that. If you want to join the survival tribes, put tribe in the subject line. So we're still working this data together. I'm going to ask you to do one other thing, though. There is a limited opportunity. I trounced Trump. I thrashed him. I thrashed Trump in one of my videos, and I lost a lot of subscribers for that because I said he threw Julian Assange under the bus. some people say, well, yeah, it looks like it, but he won't really do it. And it sounds like it QAnon crap where everybody's saying all these mass arrests are going to happen any second, for the last 4 years. And some of them are still saying that. Roger Stone don't say that, though. Roger Stone says it's not happening. Roger Stone knows Donald Trump. Unless he's a part of the game, as those people will tell us. I don't know. We'll know in a few days if there's anything to that, but I'm, let's say, somewhat less than totally buying it. All right. But there is an opportunity. Donald Trump can still do one thing. I'd like for all you to write and call the White House, the administration, and get to him any way you can at whitehouse.gov. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. Send a letter there. Email is best. We don't have time for letters. Just go to whitehouse.gov and say, or whatever, however you can. Also talk to your congressman and try to get them to talk to him, especially the Republicans. Say, pardon Julian Assange. Pardon Julian Assange. Yeah, we're trying to get him extradited here. Supposedly it's trying. Some people say, oh, he's going to extradite him and then pardon him. Well, yeah, the deep state will hang that guy. He is a guy who's shown us what's going on, what's under the hood, what's under the cover. He has been doing things to let us know what the government is up to. And he has shown the dirt, and there's lots of it there, and it needs to be seen. So I say, free Julian Assange. So I know you watched it this long, and notes say, free Julian Assange. And if you don't agree with that, say, no, don't do it. At least I know that you watched it this long. But I hope some of you will take up the cause, because that man does not deserve what's been done to him. We should carve another face in the Mount Rushmore, not one of the other ones off, and put him in his place. Julian Assange, the man deserves a statue, as maybe does Mo Bros. AOC, she, my thumbnail, I had a Chihuahua in there because she's always baring her teeth and she's got them wild eyes. So, so I just kind of get that mental image when I see her of a Chihuahua on attack. That's just the way I see it, Maybe I shouldn't do that, but that's just the way she comes across to me. And look at them eyes, just fierce eyes, and baring them teeth. Yeah, I can't do justice to that with my own facial expressions. But anyway. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Take care. Take peace. Thank you for watching.